Which is better, the handshake
or the fist bump?
Hey, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jason.
And we're from
Colorado Springs.
Let's talk about that.
Good Mythical Morning.
This episode is brought to you by the Rhett and Link Kommunity. Create, converse, and connect with other mythical beasts.
Welcome, friends. Welcome. Thanks for joining us on Bring a Friend to GMM Day. You're welcome here at any time.
Welcome.
We don't want to scare you off. We're using our soft voices today.
Welcome.
At least for the time being.
We want to foster communications and conversations amongst you and your friends, and we want you to continue to watch. So please do that and subscribe.
Last week we asked you to give us your mythical perspective on Fistbump versus Handshake.
This is an age-old debate.
Well, it's pretty new age, actually, but as in recent.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know how long the fist bump's been around. I know the handshake's been around since the 5th century. We're talking about ancient Greeks were known to do the handshake. So maybe that's an argument for the handshake, is that it's tried and true. It stood the test of time, at least since the 5th century. Greeks did it, for
5th
goodness
century
sakes.
BC.
BC.
That's
You're
a
right.
long time ago. That's longer ago than the 5th century AD. Because I know how dates work.
That's like 10 centuries earlier.
And I saw
than AD.
I saw somebody comment in one of the comments about the origin of the handshake being like letting people know you're disarmed. Like, I don't have a...
That's right. But that's because it predates the handgun that goes on the outside of the hand. Once that came along, then that was no longer a reason. The handgun on the outside of the hand gun.
I don't recall that.
Hand.
So you're saying that the
It's a good
handshake,
idea, though.
handshake goes way back, it's old, and it's a sign of, hey, I'm not armed, I'm not going to kill you. Hey,
Right.
let's make a deal.
Right, but then I'm also saying that if I had a gun here, I could still shoot you.
I don't know about that gun part. Now, there's controversy on the origins of the fist bump. Some people claim that it was created by current Fairmont State University head coach George Yanchak as a way to fire up his players. Like, come on, guys, come on. Booyah! Let's get ready for basketball.
And did he explode it immediately? Because I have to think that was probably added like in the 10th century afterward.
Yeah, I think that was an adaptation. He's actually the current coach.
Like, blow it up.
He's the current coach.
Oh,
Fairmont State is current, not 10th century.
So he's trying to take credit for the fist bump?
It clearly cannot be true. Others claim...
I haven't even heard of Fairmont State.
The Wonder Twins, minor characters in the 1970s cartoon Super Friends, who touched knuckles and cried, "Wonder Twins, powers activate," were the originators.
Wonder Twins, powers activate.
Wonder Twin powers activate!
Shape of octopus.
Form of an ice unicycle! Come on, Jaina. It's up to us to stop those aliens.
9 Peanut Pie 9, he says, "I think a fist bump is best. It's more sanitary. I don't mind bumping knuckles with someone who picks their nose, but a handshake, that's just nasty. It's a polite way of avoiding germs."
Yeah, I mean, Howie Mandel has built a whole career on the fist bump.
Yeah,
hasn't he?
Yeah, a lot of OCD people, and a bald head, a lot of OCD people do it because they think it avoids germs. And the bottom line is, scientists have studied this. I don't think this is one of the things that we don't need the scientists for. I know that touching knuckles only is more sanitary than shaking hands because the palm of your hand touches more stuff. And actually, they've done studies on this. Just real quick, Johns Hopkins University, they did this study on graduates on graduation day of how much serious bacteria, like life-threatening infectious disease, was transferred from hand to hand. Of course, there's all kinds of bacteria on you all the time.
So they traced how many of the graduates died as a result of a handshake?
They swabbed their hands before, all of the graduates.
And then they did an autopsy
afterward.
No,
to see if there was like deadly bacteria on there. And basically, almost all of the handshakes, there was no transfer of deadly bacteria, but maybe a couple did. They said 93%. The bottom line was...
So that's 7%.
It didn't kill him. Like, I probably have deadly bacteria on my hand right now, but you have to take it and like put it in a sore and then have a bad day of immunity for it to lead to something. The bottom line is there's not a great risk of disease transmission, but it is definitely higher.
But the thought of it and that there's even a slightly higher risk with a handshake is an argument to go with the fist bump.
Totally. Fist bumps are without a doubt more sanitary. No question.
And it just feels, there's a lot more opportunity to have just a weird feeling in a handshake that like, this is gross. Like, like
hand.
like the clammy hand or the dead fish handshake. If you get a fist bump, it's just boom. It's just there. I mean,
nothing could go wrong.
There's not only is there less risk of disease, is what I'm trying to say, but there's also less risk of something gross happening.
Well, let's hear some arguments for handshakes because I'm sure that there's people who feel that way.
Aaron Cole 28 said the handshake. It's classy, timeless, and works for all ages of men, women, and children. You can't fist bump your 90-year-old great-grandmother. You don't fist bump when you walk into a job interview.
I don't think you shake your 90-year-old grandmother's hand either. I think you hug her.
But if I met, that's true. But if I met your 90-year-old great-grandmother,
you'd hug her. And you hug all women over 90. I don't care if she's like a strange woman on the street. You hug them.
But if she extended her hand, I wouldn't insist on changing it to a fist bump.
Because she's probably got osteoporosis and you're like, break every bone up to her elbow if you give her a fist bump.
You're kind of clinging to the great-grandmother aspect. I think that the strength of his argument is more in the classy, timeless, and it works in a job interview. It's official. It carries meaning. I think when you go to fist bump somebody, it's just very casual. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. Fist bump equals casual, and handshake equals official, substantial, meaningful.
That's
you
true.
seal a deal with a handshake.
But that's only because that's the way our culture understands it. I mean, in some other culture, in some parallel universe, the fist bump is probably like, okay, you're going in 50, I'm going in 50, 50-50 deal.
No, that's...
See?
You said probably, but probably not. Viewers Choice TGT says fist bumps are for parties and bros. Handshakes are for business and sealing a deal. There's something substantial there. Stood the test of time. But yeah, you're at risk of it being gross, but you're also at risk of it being meaningful.
Okay, so what I hear, there's a pattern emerging in the comments that they're for different purposes. You've got a fist bump, which is for like, it's celebratory, and you've got a handshake, which is like a, how you doing?
Well,
it's more of a, let's seal the deal. It's more, there's just more going on there.
There's more meaning. I wouldn't say it's just. I would also just say it's casual. Fist bump is more of a casual greeting, but I really think it comes down to age. You never fist bump anyone who's older than you. You can only fist bump someone. This is my rule of thumb. Fist bump someone your age or younger. Because I don't care how young you are. You should always, because there's respect in a handshake if you're going with someone older.
Again. I think the question is, what is a better greeting? I think we could make the fist bump the official greeting of the world, and then there would be a lot of respect in it. You go into your job interview, and it wouldn't be like, what's up, dog? It would be like,
hello,
I'm
very nice to meet you.
Yeah, so you can make it serious.
But you would have to add a little bit of the bow.
Yeah, like...
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Fist bump plus bow has the same weight as a handshake.
Soledad Bravo 1 says, it can get very awkward when one goes for the fist bump while the other goes for the handshake. It's like the Titanic hitting a glacier. It all goes downhill. See? I'm going to go for this, and you're going to... It's like, whoa. It's kind of like paper beats rock.
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness involved. I think that's why we have to come to a conclusion here so that people will just commit to one. The problem is, if someone goes in for a handshake, and then you see the open hand, and you're like... Because what that says is, I don't want to make hand love with you. It's like someone who just is weirded out by that. They just want to give the fist.
Love.
It's an insult that we're like putting two hands together. There's a level of intimacy that some people.
Okay, so do you have an opinion? Where are you coming down on this?
You tell me. I still don't know.
Okay.
It's like ordering from the menu. Go ahead and order. I'll be ready by the time you've ordered.
I think given that the risk of serious disease transmission is minimal, it's just a part of life. Disease transmission and possible death is just a part of life. So just embrace that. And the handshake, because you can tell that you can control so many more factors in a handshake. You can, like, if I want to emphasize something, if I'm trying to intimidate you, I hold it for longer. I hold it tighter. If you've got
You give me that
if
pirate eye.
If I grab your fingers and you give me the fish hand, I've got power over you. There's more I can do. I can take the handshake and then I could go into something else like this. You know, there's just so many more
Get
places.
even more germs on the front and back of my hand.
Germs aside, there's so many different places that a handshake can be taken and so many more things that it can tell you about a person and an experience. You can tell if the person is nervous. Oh, sweaty hands. You can tell if the person is trying to intimidate you. Oh, he's squeezing back. But the fist bump, I can't tell enough. I can't tell enough.
Okay, I'm going to also choose the handshake because all of the negatives of the handshake are support for doing the handshake because I'm willing to overcome all of these negatives and still shake your hand.
We have never shaken hands this many times in one day.
So yeah, I'm also going for handshake.
We never shake hands. Ever.
Everything. You understand my argument?
Yeah.
Everything bad about it makes it more substantial when you still do it. There's more at stake.
Yeah.
It makes it more meaningful.
I could be getting a deadly disease right now, but you know what? I'm connected.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Let's seal the deal.
Yes.
I'm going to go die now.
Deal made. And I'm actually going to add a bow too.
While we're bringing the wheel up to end this episode, speaking of handshakes and greetings, we think it would be an amazing thing if you, the mythical beast, would come up with a mythical greeting, mythical handshake, mythical fist bump, whatever it is.
So make your video response and then also post it on the community, demonstrating how and why it should be
The official mythical greeting, and we will pick one. It'll be the thing that you do when you see another mythical beast.
All right, for next week, we are going to discuss the great debate, clowns, good or bad. Leave a comment below or on Facebook and Twitter with your argument. Leave a comment below, clowns, good or bad. And if you want to suggest other debates, you can also do that on Facebook and Twitter.
Everything is fascinating.
Oh my goodness, look at this room, it's full of air.
I have never noticed. Did you see look at how substantial this table is.
And there's air all around it.
can put my weight on it.
Don't do that.
Oh, maybe I could.
It's too fascinating to break our table. We only have one.
Have you seen this phone? Look, you can touch it and it moves the text on the
Oh
screen.
my goodness.
Look at
I'm
this.
fascinated.
This was an email from myself to myself. Can you?
Look at that.
Did you think that could happen?
Look at that camera. There's people on the other side of it.
What is that?
And they're gonna come back next week and watch some more.
Every morning I get up, I can't wait to check my subscription box for GMM by Link and Rhett. Uploaded every weekday on Rhett and Link too. They discuss everything from hot yoga to their hairdos.